Hey Glamour and Sugaries, it's me, Cherry. Welcome to another episode. I can't wait to share this one with you. I've been dying to do this technique for a long time. What is it? We're doing painted buttercream cakes and we're using this, a palette of buttercream colors. It's so fun to make and so fun to use these to paint. And what are we gonna make? Right over here. This is my first ever, and I want to share it with you. So palette painting began in the 19th century. Some of the most famous palette painters were Monet and Vincent van Gogh. So let's make our first Vincent van Gogh piece. This is one of those projects where you just go for it. I don't want to hear, Cherry, I'm not creative, because I don't believe it. Everybody has artistic ability. It just has to come out. And the cool thing is, even though I show you how to do this cake, yours is going to be different from mine in your own beautiful way. Plus, I'll give you my secret tips that'll help you along the way. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up to like my video, subscribe down below, and hit that bell so they'll notify you when I come out with a new video. What kind of cake is this scrumptious thing? It's vanilla from the Scranline recipe, which I will put down below, as well as my own recipe for dulce de leche filling and my own buttercream for the outside and for decorating. Today is the first day I'm using gold leaf. That is edible gold right on there. Give your cake some bling, baby. So get your palette knives ready, your piping tips, your piping bags, and your food gel colors, and let's get started. It's time to boogie. No, it's time to do the ingredients. Here in this bowl, we have 7 cups, 2 tablespoons, and 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour sifted. Then we have 2 1/4 cups of granulated sugar. We're just gonna pour that in. Oh, there it goes. 6 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. That's it for the dry ingredients. Let's take our whisk and whisk those together before we put them in the big bowl. Now we transfer them to our big bowl here. The cool thing is I got this clear bowl and it's actually a lot bigger than the usual bowl that comes with it. Try not to spill flour all over the counter like I am, because we don't want to lose our ingredients. There we go. Now we're gonna add the wet ingredients. This is 1 cup and 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, softened or at room temperature. 4 large eggs at room temperature. See, butter, take your cue from the eggs. They do what I say. Okay, I made a big boo-boo right now. I actually put the eggs in too soon. What you should have done is put the butter into the flour and mix that in, but I already added the eggs in, so we're just gonna go ahead and add the 3 cups of milk, 1 cup of vegetable oil, 4 tablespoons of either Greek yogurt or sour cream, and I have sour cream today. The vegetable oil and the sour cream actually lend a lot of moisture to the batter. All right, so the key is not to overmix. Don't forget, once you add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, and then this is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Make sure you scrape down the bowl, and we're not gonna mix that much more. You may not have a mixer to make this big of a batch all at once. You may have to do 2 separate batches. One last mix and this should do it. Here's my prepared pan. I sprayed a little spray on it. Definitely you have to have that parchment underneath or this cake won't come off. So let's take our batter and pour it in. Here we go, this is very heavy, gotta be careful. Spread it out a little. We need 1 more small pan. You're really only going to about halfway full on that pan there. And then you are going to tap it down and make sure all the bubbles come up to the top. The plan is we're gonna use this 6-inch ring, and you can do this many different ways. This is just one way that I'm showing you how to do it. After it's done, we're gonna be cutting slices from this. But if you want, you can always buy 6-inch round pans like this one. and that's kind of convenient too. So whichever you prefer, you can do. And just put all the rest of that batter in there. Got it in the pan, tap it down, and now we're gonna put it in that preheated oven at 320 degrees. While that's cooking in the oven, we wanna make the buttercream. Now I recommend we do 3 quarts of buttercream. That'll give us enough to cover the outside of the cake, and that will allow us to do as many colors as we want and do as much painting as we want on the outside of the cake. For my buttercream recipe, please visit the, sorry, it's such a tongue twister. Buttercream, buttercream, buttercream. For my buttercream recipe, please visit the video where I make the ice cream cone cupcakes with those beautiful buttercream flowers on it. Please refer to the link below. For this filling, we're going to use, what else? Dulce de leche. Muy sabrosa. What I've done here is take 2 cups of just slightly softened butter, mostly cold though, and I've whipped it so that it's nice and pale. And we're gonna go ahead and add that whole can, which is a no it's not, it's 13.4 ounces of dulce de leche. Oh yeah. That looks really caramelly. I've actually never made anything with dulce de leche yet. Ooh, how pretty. Let's scrape down the bowl and make sure everything's incorporated. You want to mix it on medium-high so it gets nice and beautifully airy and whipped. But first, shh, don't tell, I'm gonna take a little sneak peek. You want some, Allie? Wow. I think it needs just a tiny bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little coarse salt to that to make it like a salted dulce de leche. We're gonna do a little less than a 1/4 teaspoon. That's it. And we are done, babe. Now smooth out the frosting, take out the air, and make it creamy. I chilled the dulce de leche filling in the fridge for about 15 minutes or so. And whenever you take frosting out of the fridge, again, you want to make sure to vigorously stir it again just to make sure you've got the right consistency. Do you want some? Wow, that looks so good. It's yummy, by the way. And when I put that salt in it, it was perfect. Take your 16-inch piping bag and put it over a tall glass. Or you can use a 12-inch and just refill as needed. Take your filling, push it all the way down. And try to put enough filling in there for, you know, at least 1 layer. Oh, I got it on the outside. Me messy. Me so messy. Wrap it up, twisty, twisty. Ready to go, baby. Take your cakes out of the oven, allow them to cool, and cut enough for 5 6-inch rounds. Then double plastic wrap each and chill in the fridge. Hello! The cakes have been chilled, and now we have made our simple syrup. How do you do that? It's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 cup of water to 1 cup of granulated sugar. Melt that in the microwave until it dissolves. We're just gonna simple syrup all the cakes. I made too much. I think I made enough to swim in. Anybody need syrup down the street? You want to be stacked? This is how you get stacked. Pipe a little on the bottom so that the cake will stick to the board. Just spread that around just a little. Now we take our first layer and we pick the most stable layer. And if your layer is not stable, do not put it on the cake. You will regret it. I guarantee it. Why? Because one time I was making my birthday cake and my cake fell apart because I didn't realize it was so moist that the integrity wasn't there, and it fell apart before my eyes, and I was laughing and crying at the same time. I think Allie was laughing and crying with me, weren't you, Allie? But mostly laughing. This is a turntable to make you dizzy. No, this is a turntable so that we can put our dulce de leche on. How do you do that? You just squeeze as you go around, and yeah, there may be some air pockets in there. I'm not going to the exact edge because when I press down on this, it will start going to the edge. So you want to leave a tiny bit of room there. We're just gonna fill it in. You can put raspberry jam in there or chocolate ganache. Just kind of smooth it out. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're just gonna put a cake on the top, but it does have to be level. So we get down and we look and see if it's level. See how, what I mean, when you squish it a little bit, it's gonna come out just a little like peanut butter and jelly does. Doesn't that look like a peanut butter sandwich? Amazing. Now just make sure you're aligned, one on top of the other. Raise your hands if you want some cake. Let's put some more dulce de leche on there, babe. Putting the crown on. The last piece has a little bite out of the top there. I promise I didn't do it. Make sure it's level, and then we're gonna chill it, and then we're gonna crumb coat. See you there, crummy boys. It is time to put the crumb coat on. Now that we chilled the cake, the crumbs should be behaving. And then we're getting closer and closer, step by step. To what, Ellie? Masterpiece. The masterpiece. Oh, that's sweet. I mean painting, yes! For those of you who aren't familiar with frosting a cake like this, what kind of problems are you having? What can I help you with? Please comment below. Doing the top, we use the offset spatula, which is a little bit crooked like this. Then when we do the sides, we'll need the straight spatula. And we're just doing a crumb coat to kind of get that, you know, the crumbs all locked in. Yeah, I'm just working on everything all at once. I'm gonna go back to the side where I filled in a few little gaps here. One trick to smooth it is acetate paper. You can't really see it, but it's clear, and you're just gonna lightly drag it and see if it smooths it. Starting to smooth out a little, Allie. Just smoothing out the top. I'm gonna put this in the freezer, and then we get to put the final coat on. But we're looking at colors now, and I wanted to show you this cool app I got. It's called Color Collect. You have to get it. Why? Because it takes any picture that you want. Like I just got this example off the internet, and it allows you to pull colors from it so you can come up with a color palette. Because to be honest with you, I'm not very good at choosing colors to go together, or at least I don't think I am. So this really helps, and this is our inspiration for today's cake. Here are our gel food colors based on our color palette, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dye this frosting for the outside of the cake a teal blue, baby. One of my favorite colors. Let's see how that turns out. Oh wow, look at that color, it's gorgeous. I say we deepen it just slightly. That went from pastel to iceberg. Look at that beautiful blue. Can I get a ooh? Ooh. Can I get a ah? Ah. Let's frost this cake, brother. Yay. Final coat. Nice and smooth. Let's do the top really quick, and then we can smooth the whole thing. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo, doo-dee-doo. There are a few holes that I need to fill in. Look at this cake! Yay! We did it!
Very nice.
Pow! Look down here and you'll see we're using the back of a sheet tray and a silicone mat, as well as a knife set. Really, you only need one palette knife, but if you want to go ahead and get this palette knife set, it's not that expensive. If you're only going to get one palette knife, I'd totally recommend that you get this shape. It can probably give you the most versatility in terms of doing different shapes with it. Also, you can keep some paintbrushes handy to add some few details. I also have a little ball tool here that can help us. In addition, we're gonna have these piping tips so that we can make little centers for the flowers we're making and other little flowers that might not be able to be done with a palette knife. And to color them, I have Wilton colors here. These are gel food colors, not the liquid gel. That's a little bit watery and that will add water to our frosting, which we don't want. But these are great because they're very accessible, very affordable, and have good color payoff. As an added bonus, I'm gonna try using gold leaf for the first time, so that'll be an adventure. To start, I'm just gonna put gobs of frosting on here, dollops. Oh, it's messy. And we're gonna mix our colors right on here. Right, let's get a teal blue going here. And we'll use our palette knife to mix it in. This is fun mixing it this way though. To give it a little bit different look, we're gonna add a little bit of green to it. Let's see how that comes out. It's a greenish blue. Palette painting is something new for me. So we're going through this together. We're gonna start with the green here. And you're supposed to load the back of the knife, not the front, but the back. And just scoop it up and load it. You can practice on any sheet of parchment, on a baking tray like this, or just do another silicone mat. The amount of pressure you put will help you to create your shape. So see how I didn't really press on that and I got a little leaf? Now, if I want to create a more of a wider shape, I could do that. To make a leaf, you want to load up the back there and then scrape off some of the sides so that it's smooth on the side. Load up the back again, scrape off the side, and then you're just going to touch down, move to the side, and pull out. Okay, to make a stick out of this green, I'm just dipping it in some green and then I'm just going to drag it down. And there we go, we have a stem. The trick is you have to actually build from the back to the front, so that's why I'm putting the vines in first. Here's an overview of the leaves I made. A little rocky start at first, but I think I got the hang of it. It's actually a really freeing technique. It makes you so relaxed. Now we're gonna move on to the poppies. So we'll start with pink. Load up the back of my knife there. I think I understand. You have to keep the majority in the middle there. And then you load up both sides like that. And then you wipe off the sides to make it clean. There, and then you can kind of flatten it out and lessen the amount there. And let's just see what we got. Seems as though it's overlapping the leaf there, so the leaf is kind of stopping it from touching the bottom of the canvas. There we go. Now, actually, the cool thing about it is you can add layer upon layer. So we're just gonna keep on turning our knife, you know, the way we want it to do for the actual petal. If it does that, maybe you have to turn it around a little bit and do it the other way because your knife doesn't go that way. And add more if you need to add more. Now, we're gonna add a little bit more color to this poppy. Grab some white. Ooh, I love how the colors just come out. And then we're gonna put a center on it. And it's cold on the cake, so it makes the frosting set, and it's nice because then you don't have to mix it all in all the time. You can actually put it right on top if you wanted to. There we go. There. Let's try some yellow. Let's put one right here. A happy little flower. Just like Bob Ross. We love Bob Ross. This is fun, Bob Ross. No wonder this is your career. I love it, Bob. Love it. Never had so much fun on a cake before. We're working on the blue flowers now. Load up your knife. Press on the cake and pull down. And there we go. To the yellow, we're gonna add this dark, it's almost a purpley black center. Now we're going to add a little bit more detail with the center of these yellow ones. And we're going to add some white flowers. That's with our 30 tip or the closed star tip. And those will just be wherever. First we add the centers of those flowers. Now we're adding the green little dots. These little details add so much to the cake. Oh my gosh! It turned out pretty good, I think. It's really pretty. It's a lot prettier, and I had no idea how it was going to turn out, you know? But I think it looks good. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Anyways, we'll just keep on practicing together. But for the last piece, let's try to put that gold leaf on there. Now, I've never worked with gold leaf before, but I've seen it lots of times on television and the internet. It comes in these little envelopes, I think. So what I've heard is you have to use the paper that it comes with in order to apply it. Here's the reveal. You open it up and it's like that. It's very light and fragile. And if you stick your finger on there, I think it's gonna stick to your fingers. So here goes nothing. I honestly don't know how to do this, but what I'm gonna do is use the paper to hide some of it and then just kind of go like that, I guess. Let's see what happens. Oh wow. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, it's good that you fold it down like this and then you just kind of touch it, because I think that's the least way to get messy. More gold leaf. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Edible golds. I've never eaten gold before. I'm totally excited to have done this cake with you. Check it out. Wow, I love that gold leaf on there. That's amazing. So beautiful. I hope yours turns out artful and gorgeous too, and I know it will, because everyone has art in their soul. Thank you, Glamour and Sugaries, for joining me today. I had an awesome time sharing this beautiful recipe with you. Now, if you want to see what the cake looks like inside when I cut it, please check out my Instagram. It'll be there soon. Now, if you haven't already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and the thumbs up to like my video, and I'll see you next time. Looking forward to it. Bye.